Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tracetainment. Thanks so much for tuning in with me. It's a pleasure to have you here. I really do appreciate everyone that's been subscribing, viewing, and donating to the channel. It really means a lot and helps the channel continue to move forward. But in today's video, what happened to Charlie Kirk shouldn't happen to anyone on either side of the aisle. Left, right, blue, red, Democrat, Republican. It shouldn't happen to anyone. We are all human at the end of the day. And what Charlie Kirk did was go out there and debate with people that disagreed with him, willing to hear them out, voiced his opinion, and lost his life for no reason whatsoever. A wife left without a husband, and two young children left without a father for absolutely no reason whatsoever. But it says here, Ilhan Omar is incapable of feeling empathy or compassion for Republicans or Christians. Just shake my head. Even CNN's Caitlin Collins looks disappointed and disturbed with the answers given throughout this interview with the Somali-born congresswoman. Just insane. It really is insane. But take a listen to this.
It is important for us to hold a mirror. There are so many people that are pretending the words that Charlie said don't exist.
So basically, let's forget the things that some have been calling President Trump and saying, President Trump's going to do this, President Trump's going to do that, all of the fear mongering that some have been doing. So let's forget about those things. Insane. And some don't like what Charlie Kirk said because he just spoke common sense. That's it.
Way he made black women feel when he said we didn't have brain processing power to thought processing power to get ourselves into college and to be taken seriously as professionals, or as a black person, if you were a pilot and he walked on that plane, he'd be scared. These are actual words that this man has said.
I'm just going to say this. I myself don't like heights. Anytime I get on a plane, I look at my pilot and I'm just like, please, man, just please get us from point A to point B. Please, I don't care who you are. The color don't matter to me. Just get me to point A to point B. That's it. That's all that I want.
And I can't even begin. We will be here all day if I told you all of the things he has said about Muslims and immigrants and the trans community. He had hate for so many people, and he mocked the death of George Floyd. This is not somebody I am going to sit back and say had a great legacy of bringing people together, because he did the opposite. And it is important, while we mourn his death and condemn his assassination and feel empathy for his kids and wife, we are not here to whitewash what he did while he was alive.
And no one is saying that you have to whitewash what he did, or that you have to defend what he said or the views that he held. But regardless of those views, do you believe the timing of saying that the day after that he was assassinated, the comments there, do you regret the timing of those comments?
Do you think...
I just gotta say this. We are all human at the end of the day. When when you're in a certain position, you have to watch the things that are said, because people take things totally different. And it just don't surprise me, the things that some say, because it just shows you who they truly are. There are people that I disagree with strongly. I disagree with everything that they say sometimes. It's just because of it just doesn't make any sense. But I'm not coming out here bashing them or saying crazy things about them. I'm not. Because at the end of the day, they have a reasoning on why they support and the decisions that they make. They have their reasoning. And that's okay to me. Because I realize we are all human at the end of the day. We are going to have disagreements. We're not going to be able to agree on everything together. We're going to have disagreements. That's because we're human.
Charlie regretted mocking George Floyd's death as his 7-year-old pled to the world on what happened to her child. I think saying what Charlie did and who he was has nothing to do with his assassination, has nothing to do with the timing of his assassination. It is a matter of record.
I ask because the way former President Obama put it, he also said he thought that Charlie Kirk's ideas and views were wrong.
Yes.
But he said, and I'm quoting Obama now, we have to extend grace to people during their period of mourning and shock. Does he have a point?
Of course he has a point. Look what happened. It shouldn't have happened to anyone on either side of the aisle. If you're a Democrat or Republican, it shouldn't happen to anyone. Like, look at what happened. Look at what took place. Charlie was out there voicing his opinion, and he lost his life for no reason whatsoever. No reason behind it.
Yeah, I extend grace to his wife and kids. I cannot imagine what they are going through. But the reality is that his wife sat by him as he said those things and did not tell him that these are human beings who you are calling garbage, who you are saying they don't have the brain power because they were born in a different skin color.
And what did some say about President Trump's supporters while President Trump was on the campaign trail? What did some say about him, his supporters? Okay.
Like, I do not understand how we are okay as a society with people who say that about our fellow Americans, a fellow human being, and regard them as a hero. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
No one is saying that you have to agree with him. I don't think it's surprising that his wife agreed with him, obviously, or that they shared similar views. I just think that what people looked at it is, the day after his shocking death, that his views were being litigated in that way. No one's saying you have to lionize him.
But we were responding to the people who were lionizing him. I was not going to have a debate on Charlie. We were responding to the people who wanted the debate on Charlie. I put out a tweet right when he was killed that political violence is wrong and that we should work everything within our power to end gun violence in this country. None of us were interested in litigating his life until his supporters and our House Republican colleagues decided.
You guys notice how she said to end the gun violence? It should be to end any violence because no violence should be happening. We are all humans at the end of the day. We're going to have disagreements. We can have debates. We can get out and vote. Those are the way to do things. The violence just should not be happening. It just shouldn't. Like, I see what some are trying to do. They're trying to make this like a political thing when in the end, it's just shouldn't be happening. Violence shouldn't be happening anywhere.
To say he was akin to Martin Luther King, who this man loathed. So you invited us into that debate that you wanted to have, that you said Charlie was always interested in. And so you cannot get upset.
Maybe it's just me, but the way that Caitlin Collins it looks like she is just very disappointed right now. I could be wrong, but just watch her throughout this, her and Ilhan Omar's conversation, but she just does not look pleased or happy or whatever you want to call it.
Said you can't be mad if people then hold that mirror and say, but here's really who he was. And we cannot forget. It's one thing to ask us to condemn the violence, but it's another for you to ask us to pretend Charlie wasn't who Charlie was.
I'm not sure anyone's asking that. I mean, maybe some people are.
That is what people are asking.
I'm certainly not asking that. But
that is what people are asking. People are asking and are getting fired for sharing Charlie's words.
Well, and some people were celebrating it. That was part of it. But
I haven't seen that. I've just seen people sharing his words.
You haven't seen what? You haven't seen what? Go take a look anywhere on any social media account. People were out there just sharing it nonstop, saying things that I wouldn't say to my worst enemy. Basically that.
There was a town hall that you had 6 days ago. You called Kirk a quote, hateful man, and you had reposted a video that I'm sure you've seen you've taken criticism for. It's a video that called him a reprehensible human being and said, Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein and his monster shot him through the neck. Why repost that video?
Because there were a lot of things in the video that I did agree with. Obviously, we share videos. We don't have to agree with every single word. But I do believe he was a reprehensible, hateful man. Like, that is my view of the words that he has said about every single identity that I belong to. He didn't believe that we should have equal access to anything. He also just didn't even believe I could be smart enough. I could have thoughts that could be equal to a white man. Where are we missing this conversation about who this man was and the things that he said? How do you not find that reprehensible, Caitlin?
I see exactly what she's trying to do, but in the end, this is what she has to think about. When you're in a certain position, people elect you to do what's in best for the people. And to be sharing certain things just for political points just doesn't make any sense to me. Stop putting politics before the people. That's what some have to do.
Well, of course I don't.
Do you think I don't
subscribe
have
to that? But
do
I
you
think
think I don't have the brain processing power like you or a white man?
Well, of course not, and I know, think it's very clear here that I'm not sharing his views, and I don't justify them. But if somebody said that, would you say that would be reprehensible views? I think the argument that was being made.
No, but I'm asking you.
What we have heard.
What I'm asking you is, would you say that?
Yeah, I understand what you're asking me.
But you're asking me, how could I find him reprehensible? Like, that is reprehensible. You said it is reprehensible yourself. That is vile, it's reprehensible, and it is hateful.
No, I'm not asking why you think he's reprehensible. I think you're obviously allowed to have your own views. That's why we have you on here so often, because we like to hear your views and what you think on something. I just think it was the video where it called him Dr. Frankenstein and said his monster shot him through the neck. I mean, obviously this is a person, and looking at this is someone who was a husband and a father, and in the days after his shocking death, that happened as a result of his views, or it happened as a result as he was sharing his views publicly with people, that people found it jarring to hear such criticism of that in the immediate aftermath of
what
death.
I find jarring is that there's so many people willing to excuse the most reprehensible things that he said, that they agree with that they're willing to have monuments for him, that they want to create a day to honor him, and that they want to produce resolutions in the House of Congress.
I'm just going to say this. I didn't 100% agree with everything that Charlie Kirk said. But at the end of the day, he was still a human being. That is what some got to understand. But you know what they'd rather do? They'd rather just put politics before the people. They don't understand that we're all human at the end of the day. They just worry about politics first.
Honoring his life and legacy. It is one thing to care about his life, because obviously so many people loved him, including his children and wife. But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
Maybe it's just me, but the look that Caitlin Collins gave throughout this is she just was not happy. Maybe it's just me. Maybe she was. But I'm just going to say, to me, it doesn't look like she was happy. And I can understand where she's coming from. Because some just rather play political games when it shouldn't be that way. You know, what happened to Charlie Kirk shouldn't happen to anyone, whether you agree with them or disagree with them. It shouldn't happen to anyone. We're all humans at the end of the day. One race, that is the human race. We're supposed to be united, but we're not. We're called the United States of America, but we're not united. How does that make any sense? But anyways, let me know what you guys think about today's video in the comment section. Make sure you leave this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.